It's now time for your favorite in-depth basketball show with the myths, the legends, Nardog, and Raindrops Goulet!
Hello basketball fans and welcome to Full Court Press. I'm Justin Raindrops Goulet, joined as always by the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. David Nardog Bernardi. How's it going, Nardog?
It's going absolutely great, Goulet. How you doing?
I'm fantastic, thank you. Now, this is a very special episode of Full Court Press because we've got ourselves a little rebrand, if you will, a redesign. Right now, we got to give a shout out to someone real special, Jason J, one of our good friends. It's weird because he's a friend, but I always butcher his last name. Nardog, can you help me out here?
Yeah, my good friend's last name is Milutinovic.
There you go. Jay Milutinovic, thank you so much. He's actually designed the new Full Court Press original logo. So it's all original. Before, we were using this royalty-free, and yes, I have to say that for legal reasons, a royalty-free image off of Google Images. So it's cool to have kind of our own original logo, our own original spin on the Full Court Press image. It's just really cool to have something like that. So Nardog, what do you think about the new Full Court Press logo?
Well, I really love it. It was my idea to put us, make us into characters, cartoon characters, and I think he got us spot on. I asked for the Don Draper haircut, and he did pretty well on that. And I don't know, I love your glasses there.
It's good stuff. It's really cool to have a caricatures of ourselves and just to have that creative, unique look to Full Court Press. It kind of hopefully helps us stand out. Hopefully, Full Court Press Nation, you really like what it looks like.
I really love the red and black. What do you think of that?
I think the red and black looks sweet, and of course it keeps that Canadian pride going, and in terms of basketball, it keeps the We the North campaign strong, the Raptors colors, red and black. So I think it's pretty cool.
And it's got basketball being talked by two guys who know what they're talking about.
I'd like to think that we know what we're talking about, but just huge shout out, kudos to Jay for creating this original logo for Full Court Press, and Nardog, a shout out to you for having the idea to start up a Facebook page. So if you are on Facebook, just look for Full Court Press and you'll find our page. Give us a like and support the show and talk basketball with us. Get involved.
Yeah, we're only this is where we're taking off, and this is a great start to start the movement.
Exactly, it's kind of
basketball movement.
Totally. Like we've been doing this show for quite some time now. We started it in February 2014, so just a couple months away from 2 years, which is crazy to think about. Ending off 2015, we're going into 2016. It was time to mix things up a little bit, have that rebrand, and add that extra punch to the show.
Indeed.
So let's start things off. A lot to talk about on FCP this episode. Of course, the retirement of one of the all-time great players.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant. He announced his retirement a couple of weeks ago. He's going to be finishing off one more season. He hasn't had the greatest season. I'd say it's probably his worst season of his career, but what can you say? He's had 19 other amazing seasons.
Yeah, Kobe, it's no huge secret if you know me, and Nardog, you know this about me. I've always booed Kobe Bryant. Yes, I know, it's like a sin to say, a sacrilege, it's a terrible thing to say as a basketball fan, but I've never actually been a huge Kobe supporter. I've never really been on Team Kobe. That goes with the fact that I'm not a huge Lakers fan.
I hear your hate. Like, I didn't really like him during those Vince Carter awesome days with the Raptors. I know there was like that rivalry of those two young stars, and we all know how that panned out.
Exactly.
Who's got the 5 championships?
Kobe Bryant. So there's no doubt in any basketball fan's mind, Kobe Bryant, he is one of the greatest to ever have stepped on the court, to ever have played the game of basketball. You think about the greatest players of all time, Kobe pops into your head.
Yeah, and I felt like a kind of a sadness when I heard the announcement. Didn't you?
I did, in a way. It was a strange feeling. It was almost like, okay, it's finally happening. Wow, I didn't think it would happen this year. I thought maybe he had a couple more years left in him. At least one more season. Well, I guess you could say this is the one more season. but even a season after this one wraps up. But the Lakers, they may not even go to the playoffs this year. They've been struggling for the past few seasons.
They're what, 3-16? I think they are.
Yeah, it's rough end to the career, but he still goes down as one of the all-time greats. He's a 5-time NBA champion, 2-time Finals MVP. He's a 1-time league MVP, 17 All-Star appearances. The first time he made the All-Star team was in his second year in the league.
And you think of the era he's played in. You got guys like Allen Iverson, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Ray Allen, Dirk Nowitzki, Paul Pierce, Vince Carter, Steve Nash, Tracy McGrady, and a couple more Spurs guys, and Ginobili and Parker. Like, how great of an era is that of basketball?
If you think of the all-time greatest basketball eras, that's right up there with the Michael Jordan days. So that's huge. That is an incredible list of some of the all-time greatest basketball players in the history of the game on the planet. Those are some of the best people to have ever played the game. That list is outstanding. Imagine all those guys playing on the same team together. Unbeatable.
That would be a dream come true.
It would be. It's a fantasy. Crazy fantasy scenario, and no one would be able to beat them.
Every single one of those players I named is a Hall of Famer.
Yep, I do not doubt that. I am not going to argue that.
There's some debate with Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, but every other guy.
I think so. And you look at McGrady and Carter, because the Basketball Hall of Fame, it obviously goes on merit and statistics and accomplishments throughout your career. And McGrady and Carter, they haven't won a championship ever, but just the impact they had on the game, and they had some phenomenal years.
The impact Vince Carter had on Canada basketball specifically. You got guys like Tristan Thompson who looked up to Carter. Like
Andrew Wiggins.
Wiggins. Oh, there's so many Canadian basketball players in the NBA now.
Yeah, and that point of Carter influencing Canada basketball and help it grow, you look at someone like Steve Nash, who is Canadian. I think Vince Carter actually had a bigger impact on Canada basketball than Steve Nash did.
Oh, for sure, because Toronto was the place to play, not Vancouver, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. It's just amazing to see the impact that those players that you listed off, just to see the impact they've had on the game. And you just look at some of them, like guys like Tim Duncan and Kobe playing for the same team their entire career. Now, Kobe, with this being his 20th season, that's an NBA record for most seasons in the league with the same team. And I have a lot of respect for players who are able to stick with one team their entire career. It just shows loyalty. Now, obviously, basketball is a business, so you can get traded to a team and whatnot. You can be kind of taken away through free agency and just go somewhere else. But it just shows that Kobe, if ever he had the chance to leave Los Angeles, he stuck with the Lakers. And I think that's pretty cool. Whether or not you like the guy, and I'm not the biggest fan of Kobe Bryant, I think that's pretty cool, and I have a lot of respect for that.
I'm just going to leave this out there. It's a Lakers record correction. They're actually 3-19.
Oh, 3-19. Okay. I think they would have preferred if we had kept it at 3-16.
They're only 0-10 against the Western Conference this season.
Oh, geez, yeah. So Kobe Bryant won't be making the playoffs in his final season unless we see a miracle occur.
Hey, maybe he's giving them a gift by having them be the number one overall pick in the NBA draft next year, and they get another gem.
Watch that happens. Watch they get the next Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant is specifically, he's trying to play his worst so that the Lakers can get another franchise player.
What a guy.
Who would have ever thought that?
Who would have ever thought that he'd be such a great team player?
Yeah, there's never been much ball movement throughout his NBA career, the Lakers.
That's been a common knock against Kobe's game, that he's a ball hog, and he's a great scorer, but he's not the best passer.
But he's got 5 championships.
He's got 5 championships for a reason.
Deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. So deal with it. And as I've said, I'm not the biggest Kobe Bryant fan, but at the same time, a huge kudos and salute to the career of Kobe Bryant, one of the all-time best to play the game, no doubt.
Now, sticking to the Western Conference, we got a certain team that won the NBA championship last year. They go by the name of the Golden State Warriors, and they're only 23-0 this season.
Right now, they're 23-0. As of this episode of FCP, the Golden State Warriors are undefeated at 23-0. You talk about streaks playing with the team for the longest period of time in your career with Kobe Bryant, 20 years. 23-0, that's the best streak in NBA history. That's the greatest start to a season of all time, right?
They currently tie the Miami Heat with a 27-game winning streak continuing from last season. So, and they're only 6 games away from tying the LA Lakers for a 33-game winning streak. It's something else.
Pretty wild. Yeah, so it's not the greatest winning streak of all time, but it's the best start to an NBA season, which isn't something to turn away from at that. That's huge.
And you want to know a great storyline for Christmas Day? They play the Cleveland Cavaliers. NBA championship rematch, and also if they win that match, they'll tie the Lakers for the all-time winning streak in the NBA at 33.
Huge.
Will they do that?
Ah.
That's 6 games away. That's still tough.
It's still tough, and as we saw by the Raptors' recent performance against the Warriors, twice, 2 games.
2 games that they should have won, but late game mistakes just cost them.
Yeah, exactly. Just those last minute late game stumbles kind of throws them off. But especially the most recent game, the Raptors were just so close to beating the Warriors. I thought for sure they were going to be the team to end the streak. That would have been one of the biggest, if not just for regular season, the biggest victory in Raptors history. That would have been huge.
That would have been comparable to that game against Michael Jordan's 72-10 win team.
That's true. Yeah, the Raptors, they beat the Bulls that game, right?
Yeah, I think it was 97-96 the final, something like that.
Crazy.
That was only 20 years ago.
Yeah. So you never know what could happen in 2015, right? 2015-2016 season.
And we haven't even talked about Chef Curry yet.
Oh, well, that's because things are too hot to talk about Chef Curry. That was my lame joke for the episode.
Oh, no, I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, thanks.
So funny.
Thanks, man.
You know what else is funny? How he's embarrassing the league.
He's killing it. He keeps this up, he's going to win MVP again.
Honestly, you watch this guy play, and it's like playing NBA 2K16 on rookie level, and you're just making every single shot. That's what it's like watching Steph Curry these days.
It's crazy to wrap your heads around the shots that he's making. Unbelievable. Steph Curry is killing it. He is embarrassing the teams that he's playing against.
There was this one game against Minnesota this year where Andre Miller was defending him, and he actually touched the ball as Steph Curry was shooting it, and Curry still gets it in.
See, he can't miss.
7 40-plus games this season. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot more to come, my friend.
And the funny thing is, he doesn't play much fourth quarters. So imagine if he actually played fourth quarters. We're talking probably 45 points a game, something like that.
Do you think at one point, it may be tough, but do you think Steph Curry, just relating things back to Kobe Bryant, do you think Steph Curry could beat the 81-point mark that Kobe set against the Raptors those years ago?
Like I said, he doesn't play fourth quarters, but if he was actually on fire one game and the team they played against was also keeping it close, you never know.
It would be something absolutely spectacular to see, that's for sure.
And I think Curry would probably have to have, 15 three-pointers in that game.
Yeah, it's possible. Do you think he could beat Kobe Bryant and Donyell Marshall's three-point record? 12 three-pointers in a game?
I'm surprised he hasn't done that yet.
Me too, honestly. Thinking about it, I'm surprised.
I have a feeling he might actually do that this season, the way he's playing.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And they're actually, I hate to say this, but they kind of actually are in jeopardy on Friday. And they play the Boston Celtics, who aren't a bad team. But the thing is, in the last game they played, Klay Thompson sprained his ankle. He said he's good to go. I don't know.
Well, we'll see how it goes, right?
Could the legendary Boston Celtics be the team?
Boston Celtics, of course, a rich history, that's for sure.
They got my boy Amir Johnson.
Yeah, they do. How do you think the Raptors are doing this year? What do you think about the Raptors' performances? We were talking about them against the Warriors, but overall, how do you think Toronto's been playing this season?
First off, let's talk about the East. How there's 10 teams in the Eastern Conference that are over 500. Who would have ever thought that?
Yeah, who would have ever thought that the East would be doing so well? They're usually the lower conference, if you will.
When you got what was it, a couple teams in the West that are under 500, playoff race, I mean,
Yeah, in the playoff race, of course.
7 and 8. Well, actually, Utah Jazz, they won. They're 10 and 10, but you look at Houston, they're 11 and 12.
Yeah.
Amazing. But back to the Eastern Conference. Yeah, you got the Raptors. They're 14 and 9. They pulled off that amazing win against the Spurs last night.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
unbelievable.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, they beat them, what, by 3 points?
Yeah.
Huge. They're
Spurs
getting
made
some
that.
big victories. And yeah, you're looking at the Eastern Conference, just jumping into there, as of this episode right now, the Hornets are in second place in the Eastern Conference. The Raptors right behind them.
Yeah, Raptors are third right now. And the funny thing is, they're only a game back of Cleveland for first.
Yeah. Crazy, eh?
Yep.
It's quite the sight to see. Well, there was that period of time last season where the Raptors, and even where the Raptors were leading the Eastern Conference, right?
Yep, they're 24 and 7 at one point.
Well, they're 14 and 9 as of right now, so they won't be hitting that 24 and 7 mark. But
Now, talking about the Raptors, let's bring up their offseason acquisitions. They brought over Corey Joseph, DeMauri Carroll, Bismack Biyombo. Of those three guys, who do you think's contributed the most?
just from what I've seen, and I will admit right now, I've been very busy, unfortunately, so I haven't actually had the chance to catch as many Raptors games as I'd like to check. So now I'm looking forward to the Christmas holiday season where I could actually hopefully watch every single Raptors game that's going on. But just from what I've seen, I'd say maybe Corey Joseph. Corey Joseph's done a really good job with Toronto.
Oh, for sure. He's brought that winning mentality over from San Antonio, for sure.
He really has, and he's a Canadian boy. Like, it's nice to see him play for Canada's team. It's just great to see, and he's doing so well.
And he's basically proving that the Raptors didn't sign him because he's Canadian, because he's doing so well off the bench.
Yeah, he was signed because he's a good player.
Yeah. And the thing is, if San Antonio didn't sign LaMarcus Aldridge, there's a very good chance that they would have brought back Corey Joseph.
You'd think so, yeah.
That tells you right there.
And remember, this was just the other week, not too long ago. Corey Joseph hit that buzzer beater to beat the Wizards. How sweet was that?
Oh, that was beautiful. Me and my brother were watching it together, and we both cheered very loudly.
It was just a beautiful play overall. So I think Corey Joseph's had the biggest impact. What about you? Do you think it's been Joseph, or you had quite the enthusiasm when you said Bismack's name?
You know what? Bismack, he's been absolutely solid. I thought he'd be a nice addition, but the fact that he's putting up double doubles in Valanciunas' absence is incredible. And the only knock on his game is he should stay away from layups when he's under the basket. Just pass it out. The only way he should score is if he's dunking, and he's done a pretty good job with that lately.
He has.
It's just like he's been solid. He's a great shot blocker. He's great defensively. He's a solid pickup, and the fact that he's only making $3 million a year, that's such a steal.
I'd say that's a huge steal. I agree with you there.
And we haven't even brought up DeMauri Carroll, who's also been a solid addition.
I think DeMauri has been living up to his nickname of Junkyard Dog 2.0.
Oh, for sure. He's kind of been injured this season, but when he has played, he's contributed in like everything: offense, defense. I love his 3-point shooting. That's my favorite part of his game.
It's great. He had a lot of growth while playing with the Atlanta Hawks, and it was a really nice tribute they pulled off when the Raptors played the Atlanta Hawks. I thought that was fantastic.
And the Raptors went in and won that game.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it's done. I think Carroll Do you think he's playing worth his 4-year, $60 million contract?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I agree with you.
He's earning that contract right now.
Like you look in game one right off the bat. I knew he was a good signing. In that first game of the season, scoring 14 and picking up 8 rebounds. Those are some good numbers.
And I can't believe I forgot this guy. I forgot about Luis Scola.
Oh, Luis Scola, of course. He's one of the. We talked about this before. Luis Scola is one of the guys that I always seem to forget that the Raptors signed him during the offseason. That was a great pickup.
So he's consistent. That's all you need to say about him.
He's a consistent veteran. He knows what he needs to do. He knows his role and he follows it. And I'm sure that he's a great mentor to the younger guys.
Yeah, and he knows how to play with Lowry because they played together in Houston.
Exactly. So there's already that chemistry that's built in.
Yeah, they're building off that. And he's been a solid veteran for the team.
He has. He knows his job, and he's, like I said, he's doing what he was brought in to do.
And then we got Lucas Nogueira. This guy comes in. He's basically injury prone. He gets sent down to the Raptors 905. He comes in for the injured Valanciunas, and he's having career games just like that.
It's nice to see because he's such a young player. He's learning the game, and it's good to see that he was brought back from the Raptors 905. It's great that the Raptors have the ability to do that. They have their own farm team, their own development team. And it's good to see Nogueira doing so well.
He's a great talker, too. There was a game against Atlanta where he had his career game, and he got interviewed after, and he's basically, every question he's answering, he's like, he takes a minute to answer it.
Exactly. Well, he's thinking about what he's going to say, right?
He's Bebe.
He's Bebe. Exactly. And it's fantastic to see his development, to see his growth.
And unfortunately, I have to bring this guy up, and there's been a lot of talk about him. Since it happened, Masai Ujiri signed this guy to a contract extension. What was it? 3 years, $33 million?
Your all-time favorite player, of course.
Oh, everyone just loves it when I talk about him. Terrence Ross.
I'd think so, yeah. Well, Terrence, it's a very interesting subject with Terrence Ross because he had that very strong game not too long ago.
He had those 2 good games to start the season, and Masai Ujiri gives him that contract extension. I don't know. It didn't sit well with me.
It's like he's up, and then he's down for 10 games, and then he's like halfway up, then he's down for another 5 games, and then he's fully up, and then he's down again.
Thing is, like, you give a guy a contract off of his potential. I know what Masai's thinking there, but we've had 4 years to scout this guy, to see how he is, and he's been inconsistent his whole career. You don't give a guy like that $10+ million a year. It's not right.
You know what? I'd give Luis Scola that over giving it to Terrence Ross, even though Scola's almost 10 years older than Terrence Ross.
And you look at Bismack Biyombo, who's playing unreal, and he's only making $3 million. That's
Exactly.
like Terrence Ross. Come on, step your game up. Prove to the world, prove to the Nard Dog, that you can put up at least 3 good games in a row. 3. That's all we're asking. 3. Is it that tough? Now you got DeMar Caro. He's out with an injury. You're starting now. You have that 1 good game, and then you played last night against San Antonio, and you have another stinker. Come on. It's just not right. Masai, this could be your downfall. Like, this is definitely, right now, this is his worst move as a Raptors GM.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, hold the phone. Watch out, because the Nard Dog has been unleashed.
Indeed. And that's all I'm going to say. Not a good contract for not a good player.
Well said. Wow, I have no idea. I have nothing to add to that. Well said. You nailed it, Nard Dog. Well done, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And, of course, let's talk about the Raptors MVP, as always, Kyle Lowry.
Of course, yeah, let's move on to more positive thoughts. Kyle Lowry, Kalo.
He's off to another great season, 2 seasons in a row. The only thing about him is if he can keep it up.
Exactly. Keep it up, maintain that stability as a player, maintain that incredible play. It's going to be interesting to see how the Raptors fare after the All-Star break, because last season you could say that it was downhill after the All-Star break.
You know what I'm really impressed with Lowry this season? He's leading the NBA in steals at 2.5 a game.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Keep it up. Just keep on doing that. Like that's the message to the Toronto Raptors. Just keep on playing well. Don't slack off. Keep on working hard. You got to treat the entire NBA season like it's no days off. Like there's no stoppages. You just got to keep on going and going and going and never give up. Keep on playing hard.
And by the way, NBA All-Star voting started just today.
Oh.
We all know where that is. Toronto, of course.
NBA All-Star voting active as of December 10th. Let's get some Raptors on the squad. Yeah, you said it. All-Star Weekend is in Toronto. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I could somehow make it for All-Star Weekend, because that would be incredible. But if not, I know that I'll be front and center watching this go down.
Yeah, we should basically be covering it.
I think so. That's an idea. Full Court Press Nation, let's start a petition. The Nard Dog and Raindrops at NBA All-Star Weekend in Toronto. Let's get it done.
How fun would that be?
It would be amazing. It would be the experience of a lifetime, man.
Vote in Lowry. Vote in DeRozan. Vote in Valanciunas.
Vote in DeMare Carroll.
Vote in Scola.
It's no secret that we are huge Raptors fans, and chances are, for the most part, we try not to be, but there may be some bias towards the Toronto Raptors. But we love our Toronto Raptors, so support Canada basketball and Raptors. We the North campaign. Let's keep it going strong, as always.
We the North.
We the North.
I think it's a given after last season, the fan support for Lowry, that he's probably going to get voted in again.
Lowry will be an All-Star again this year. And if DeRozan isn't injured, DeRozan could very well be an All-Star for the second time in his career.
It's going to be tough for DeRozan, well, to get voted in at least, because you got John Wall and Dwayne Wade. They always get a lot of votes. So
They do.
I think if the Raptors are a top 3 team in the East this season, then I think DeMar, he should get in.
Yeah, and I don't think DeMar would be a starter. DeMar, he would be a reserve. I think the best chance at a starter would be like this past season, Lowry as an All-Star starter.
Once again.
Once again. Well, Nard Dog, what else is there to talk about? Anything else that's on your mind?
Andrew Wiggins.
Oh, of course. Put Andrew Wiggins in the All-Star game.
Just do it. Do it, Canada. Just
exactly. How cool would that be to see Andrew Wiggins as an All-Star, his second season?
That's another thing about Kobe. You think the fans would vote him in?
Oh, that's a good point. Bringing it back to Kobe, who, yes, made the All-Star team in his sophomore season, so that'd be cool to see Andrew Wiggins do what Kobe did. But Kobe Bryant in the All-Star game, I think he has a strong enough fan base that he has a good chance of getting voted in.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd be a starter, although the fan vote goes towards starters. But I think just for the sake and like the greatness that was Kobe Bryant's career, not so much the recent years, but just for everything that he's done for basketball, I think that the coaches would put Kobe Bryant in the All-Star game. He may not get many minutes, but the thing is with Kobe, although he's not playing as he used to play, he would still put on at least somewhat of a show.
Yeah. Even if he doesn't play, I know he'll be in Toronto 100%.
Oh, he will be.
They're for sure going to celebrate him, do all those tribute things. I just love how it's in Toronto, his last All-Star game.
Yeah, 17-time All-Star, and he won the All-Star Game MVP 4 times. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite impressive. So I think they're going to do something special for Kobe during the All-Star weekend. Definitely celebrate his career. His final game of the season, there's going to be a huge celebration. Another question I have for you, before we wrap things up, just keeping it in tune with Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal brought this up. Big Shaq, he said that when Kobe's jersey is retired, it should be number 8 and not number 24. Now, he's done a lot wearing the number 24, but I think, in a way, I kind of agree with Shaq.
I do too.
But the thing is, the question I have for you, Nardog, is do you retire both numbers?
That's actually interesting. I think maybe they actually should. Has that ever happened in sports?
Not that I could think of. I'd have to look into it, but not that I know of off the top of my head.
You think he played all those years with the number 8, great years, and then all those amazing years again with 24. He won 2 championships with that 24. You can't discount that.
Exactly. He won 2 championships with that 24, and he won 3 championships with number 8. And he's done great things wearing both jerseys. So I think the best option is, and again, I'm not the biggest Kobe Bryant fan, but I respect everything he's done for the game of basketball, and I will admit he's one of the greatest to ever have played the game. I think you should recognize both those numbers because he had amazing moments wearing both those jerseys. So there's really no harm in retiring both numbers.
Yeah, I agree for sure, and I think it would be pretty cool. And back to Shaq, he also said a funny thing about Karl-Anthony Towns, the number 1 overall pick. He said he's Giant Drake.
He's Giant Drake?
Yeah, apparently he thinks he looks a lot like Drake.
Well, maybe we'll see a Drake Karl-Anthony Towns mixtape in the near future. Who knows?
I could definitely see that.
Well, speaking of mixtape, one thing I want to bring up is you posted this on your Facebook. I'll post it on the new Full Court Press Facebook page. It's the End of an Era mixtape, and it's a video that the Score posted online. It just kind of celebrates the careers of those guys we mentioned at the beginning of the show. Guys like Kobe, Tim Duncan, Allen Iverson, Vince Carter, T-Mac.
It's definitely a must-watch.
Yeah, that's for sure. I totally agree with you, Nardog.
Totes.
Totes, my goats.
Totally my goats.
Exactly. Well, right on. What, anything else? Any other topics that you want to talk about? I think we've covered a ton on this episode of FCP.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Right on, brother. Full Court Press Nation knows that they could check out the Facebook page, but where can they find you and chat with you about basketball?
Well, Twitter, you got me at David Bernardi 7. And then you got me on the Instagram at David__Bernardi.
Ooh, I like how you do the double underscore. It's very classy, sir.
I'm a double-double.
Double-double. Right on.
I'll just put on those double-doubles when I'm out there having a time and playing some ball.
It's the only way to do it, my friend. Well, you can find me on Twitter at JustinGoulet21 and the same name on Instagram. No double-doubles for me.
It's all about raindrops.
I'm all about raindrops. It's more like triple-doubles for this guy right here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, as always. Nardog, thank you for joining me.
All the time. It's always a pleasure.
Oh, yes. That I agree with you on, sir. Thanks so much for tuning in to Full Court Press. We honestly really appreciate the support and just listening to an episode, liking the Facebook page. It means a ton. Huge shout out to Jay for designing the new Full Court Press logos. Thank you very much, good sir. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Jay. Much appreciated, and we love it.
Yeah, the new logos look absolutely awesome. Huge thank you to Jay. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Justin Raindrops Goulet.
And I'm the Nod Dog, David Bernardi.
And we are out.
Cheers.
You've just been hit with Full Court Press. Courtesy of the men, the myths, the legends, Nardog, and Raindrops Goulet.